Hey, what's up guys, OSG back with the next episode of the Commodore 64 years. As I mentioned in the last video, from here on out we'll be looking at a minimum of 20 games per year, because starting in 1984 the floodgates really opened. Developers had finally mastered the hardware, publishers were taking bigger risks, and the Commodore 64 was fast becoming the home computer to own. 1984 was a year when everything clicked. The sound, the graphics, the gameplay, you could feel the leap in quality compared to 1983, with games getting bigger, smoother and far more ambitious. It was when the C64 really started to flex its muscles, proving it could handle anything, from epic adventures and strategic simulations to arcade action and platform perfection. It was also when the system's identity truly began to take shape, that unmistakable look and sound that made the Commodore 64 so special to an entire generation. So sit back, relax, and let's load up another year of classics as we count down the 20 best Commodore 64 games of 1984. We start things off with one of the quirkiest games of the decade, Lazy Jones. You play as a hotel cleaner who can sneak into rooms and play mini-games on TVs, jukeboxes and computers. Each mini-game is a different arcade-style challenge, almost like a mini collection within one game. It's got a catchy soundtrack that even inspired later tracks like Kernkraft 400, and its strange, humorous premise helped it stand out in 1984. Next up is Castles of Dr. Creep, a brilliant platform puzzler that could be played solo or co-op. Each castle is a maze of traps, electric doors and teleporters that demands both brains and timing. It was a game ahead of its time for a cooperative play, and the spooky atmosphere and level design that made it one of Broderbund's underrated gems. At number 18 we've got Raid Over Moscow, a Cold War action game where you pilot jets, dodge defences and infiltrate enemy bases to stop nuclear missiles. It mixed up multiple gameplay styles, flying, shooting and even on foot infiltration, which was really ambitious for 1984. Controversial in some countries, it became a C64 cult hit thanks to its tense pacing and variety. Number 17 is Montezuma's Revenge, a sprawling platformer where you explore trap-filled temples, collecting treasures and avoiding enemies. Smooth animation and multi-screen layout made it one of the most polished platformers of its time. This was an early taste of exploration-based platforming, something we'd later see perfected in Metroid-style games. In 16th place we have Spy vs Spy. Based on the classic Mad magazine cartoon, two spies face off in a deadly game of traps, sabotage and outsmarting each other. Its split-screen multiplayer was revolutionary, one of the first of its kind, and the blend of strategy and slapstick humour made it a fan favourite. It spawned sequels and cemented its place as a C64 classic. Number 15 is Pitstop II by Adept, a racing game that did something totally new. Two-player split-screen racing. It wasn't just about driving fast, you had to manage tyre wear and refuel during pit stops, which added a tactical edge. This was a real favourite for me and my best mate Paul Elsey. We used to play it for hours, racing each other's, sliding off the corners and trying to time those pit stops perfectly. The sense of competition and realism was years ahead of its time, and it remains one of my all-time favourite C64 racing games. At 14 we've got 7 Cities of Gold, a unique exploration game where you play as a 16th century explorer charting the new world. It was open-ended, ambitious and encouraged discovery rather than combat. EA marketed it as a new kind of adventure, and they were right. It was one of the first open world experiences on home computers. Number 13 is Sentinel, And this one's a bit of a strange beast. It's one of those games that even today a lot of people don't quite know how to play. The controls are unconventional, and figuring out what you're actually supposed to do takes a bit of patience. But once it clicks, once you understand its weird logic, it becomes a fascinating experience. There's something strangely hypnotic about scanning the landscape, absorbing energy and hunting down the Sentinel itself. It's definitely not one for everyone, but those who get it absolutely love it. In 12th place we've got H.E.R.O, a clever mix of action puzzle platforming. Originally an Atari 2600 game, it made the jump to the C64 with smoother graphics and tighter controls, and it really shines here. You descend into mines with a helicopter backpack, rescuing trapped miners while avoiding creatures and hazards. It's fast, challenging, and shows how much Activision could get out of the C64 hardware. It's one of those games that rewards skill, quick thinking, and a bit of bravery too. Just missing out on the top 10 is Summer Games, Epic's legendary multi-event sports title. With its slick presentation and multiplayer fun, it became a gold standard for Olympic-style games. Whether it was diving, pole vault or a 100-metre dash, this was a perfect party game, and it kick-started a whole series that dominated the mid-80s. At number 10 we've got Micro League Baseball, one of the first serious sports management games on the C64. You could simulate entire matches, manage lineups and edit teams, something unheard of in 1984. It showed that the C64 wasn't just for arcade action, but could handle deep strategic simulations too. Number 9 is Wizard, a single-screen platformer where you collect treasures and dodge enemies with the help of your magical powers. Its physics and clever level design made it surprisingly sophisticated for the time, and its mix of puzzle solving and quick reflexes helped it earn a devoted following. At 8 is Space Taxi, one of the most original C64 games ever made. You control a flying taxi, picking up customers and navigating tricky platforms while obeying gravity and physics. The digitised speech, "Hey taxi," blew people's minds in 1984, and the precise controls made it incredibly satisfying to master. Number 7 is Archon, Adept, the follow-up to the original strategy classic. It expanded the concept with magical jewels, elemental powers, and even more tactical depth. EA was on fire in 1984, and this sequel proved that strategy and action could mix beautifully on the C64. At 6 it's Boulder Dash, one of the most beloved puzzle action games ever. You play as Rockford, digging through caves, collecting gems and dodging falling boulders. The physics-based gameplay was groundbreaking, and its mix of skill, timing and strategy made it endlessly replayable. It's a timeless C64 classic that inspired generations of similar games. In 5th place is Below the Root, a gentle, story-driven adventure that stood out in a sea of action games. Based on the Green Sky book series, it lets you explore a huge world filled with dialogue and exploration, and moral choices. It's one of the first games to attempt real emotional storytelling on the C64. At number 4 we've got Raid on Bungeling Bay, the first ever game made by Will Wright, who'd later go on to create SimCity. You pilot a helicopter bombing factories while dodging enemy fighters and missiles. The AI and dynamic world were impressive for 1984, and it hinted at Wright's fascination with simulation and systems that would define his later work. At number 3 we have Ultima III Exodus, a massive RPG that brought deep storytelling and party-based combat to the C64. With towns, dungeon and a sprawling world to explore, this was a huge leap forward in role-playing games on home computers. Richard Garriott's series was redefining the genre, and Exodus remains a landmark release. Runner-up goes to Bruce Lee, one of the smoothest, most playable action platformers ever made. Mixing martial arts combat with exploration, traps and platforming, it struck the perfect balance of challenge and fun. The two-player mode, where one player controlled a ninja or sumo, added replay value, and Bruce's fluid animation made it stand out. And at number 1, no surprise here, it's Impossible Mission. Epic's delivered something truly special with this one. Smooth animation, voice synthesis and gameplay that mix platforming, puzzle solving and exploration. "Stay a while, skate forever" became an iconic quote, and the random level layouts made every game different. Impossible Mission wasn't just one of 1984's bests, it's one of the best games ever made for the C64. And that wraps up 1984, the first full year where the Commodore 64 really hit its stride. We had genre-defining titles, huge technical leaps, and some all-time classics that people still talk about today. From the cinematic thrills of Impossible Mission to the martial arts of Bruce Lee and the sprawling adventures of Ultima III, 1984 was a year that proved that the Commodore 64 could do just about everything. If you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and ring that bell, because the next time we're heading to 1985, a year that delivered some of the most beloved and iconic C64 games ever made. Oh, and if you would like to become a Patreon like these guys going up the screen right now, get on over to my Patreon channel where you can pledge for as little as $1. That will get you perks like your name in the Commodore crack draw, end credits, video requests, giveaways and more in the future. Till next time, this is OSG signing out.